Hi.
Hi.
Okay. Here we go. I'm going to tell you about a nightmare I experienced while I was awake. It all began on Friday, December 9th, 2016. Moving day from Boulder, Colorado to Los Angeles. This was my second move across state lines within 6 months, because I had just moved to Boulder, Colorado 4 months earlier for a transpersonal psychology program at Naropa University with a concentration in mindfulness. I thought that was going to be my dream. But when I got to Boulder, I realized the 88% white population obsessed with rock climbing really wasn't for me. So I decided to move back to my hometown, Los Angeles. I was feeling very confident in my decision to come back, but what I wasn't feeling great about was the 16-hour drive ahead of me. The roads were icy, and I was driving solo. So for those that don't know me, I like to run a tight ship. I had this whole trip planned out from beginning to end. The movers would arrive on Friday at 9 a.m. I'd be on the road by 10:30 a.m. And I'd be at my Airbnb in Joseph, Utah before the sun went down because I didn't want to drive at night. Joseph, Utah is about 7.5 hours away from Boulder, Colorado. So it was important to get on the road in the morning. Now, everything was going to work out exactly as I planned, right? Well, here's how it actually began. The movers didn't come at 9 a.m. 9:30, still not there. 10 o'clock. They came at 10, and I was pissed. So I'm already feeling like anxious, and I start loading my car with some of my own personal belongings that I didn't want to give to the movers. So I have this duffel bag, and I put it in my car. I leave the trunk open. My car is right outside my apartment. No big deal. Walk into my apartment, come back out, duffel bag, gone. So I am devastated. Let me tell you what was in this duffel bag. A week's worth of clothes, all of my toiletries that were very essential, and my supplements, my vitamins, like herbs, and most importantly, my mom's engagement ring and necklace that she wore every day when she was alive. So of course I was just completely devastated. I considered, putting off my trip. Like I was an emotional wreck, and I didn't know if I could get on the road. So I was pondering, like, what should I do? And a little voice just quietly whispered, take a breath and just keep going. And so I did. I got on the road, and it was about 1 p.m. So I'm driving on the 70 going west through Utah. And if anyone hasn't driven on that highway, it is just jaw-dropping. It's so spectacular. Despite the rough morning of getting robbed, essentially, I was feeling okay just looking at these majestic mountains that surrounded me. And I felt like, okay, that was tough, but I'm gonna make it. And so I'm driving along the S70, and as the sun goes down, it starts to take on this different tone. I start to realize that I'm all alone, and there are very few cars on this road, and there is no cell phone reception, and there are miles and miles of mountains forever. Also, to make matters worse, I was 3 hours deep into this podcast called Charles Manson's Hollywood. You should definitely listen to it because it's fucking incredible. But I mean, it is the most disturbing, albeit captivating podcast I'd ever listened to. And now it's nighttime and I'm like not feeling very safe. So that was that. At this point, I had a little bit less than half a tank of gas, and I thought, no big deal, I'll just, the next gas station, I'll fill up on gas. Little did I know. On the 70, there is a stretch between Green River and Salina with absolutely no motorist services, no gas, no food, no motels, nothing, just mountains. That stretch, 106 miles long. Basically an hour and a half of driving. So there are two signs when you're going west warning you that, like, Green River is the last place you can get gas. So there's a sign, and it's just a regular exit sign, very easy to miss. So the first exit sign is before Green River, and it says like, Green River, last place to get gas for over 100 miles or something like that. So I missed that one. And then the next one is actually, it's after Green River. So it's basically like, no more services, you're fucked, you know? And so I missed both of those because basically I was supposed to be on the 70 for like 6 hours. So like, who reads exit signs when you're on the same road for 6 hours? Anyway, so at this point it's about 7 p.m. Again, like gas is just going closer and closer to the E. I'm feeling really anxious. Still no cell service, not seeing any gas stations. Turned off the podcast, enough about the Manson family. Like, it was not helping at this point. I was just like fucking freaking out. On top of that, I really had to pee and I was so thirsty, but I was like, no water, no pee, I can't. Like, everything had to be focused about gas. Like, that's all I cared about. So, started to feel the panic rise in my chest, started to feel the tears well up, and I thought to myself, oh my God, I might run out of gas. I might have to sleep in my car. Oh my God, it's freezing outside. I'll freeze to death. I'm gonna die. Like, that's it. I'm just gonna fucking die. And again, as my thoughts are spiraling, I like hear this small, quiet voice that just tells me like, take a breath. It's gonna be okay. Remain calm. So that's what I do. I resist the urge to fall apart. I resist the urge to cry about losing my mom's belongings, losing my own belongings, everything that's happened. And I resist the fear that's coursing through my veins. So I just keep taking these deep breaths and I tell myself, it's fine, just a couple more miles, just a couple more miles. You're gonna find some gas, don't worry about it, don't worry about it, you're gonna find some gas. And at each exit sign that I approach, my heart sinks because I wanna see the word services and all I see is scenic overlook or like no services. And I'm, just freaking out. So finally, I see an exit sign and it says gas dash 15 miles with an arrow pointing north. I was traveling west. So this is very weird. Where is this gas station that's 15 miles north? I don't know what town it's in. Should I take this risk? This seems really sketchy. What do I do right now? I need to make a decision. And I'm like going through in my mind, like, should I take this risk? What if there's no gas station? Then I have to drive 15 miles there and then 15 miles back, and that's 30 miles. And at this point I had like a quarter tank. So I was like, okay, I just have to take a leap of faith. Like, I have to drive 15 miles in the wrong direction to get gas. So I do. And I end up in this town called Emory. Now, this gas station was not a gas station. I was staring at the odometer, just like counting the 15 miles, and as soon as it hit 15, I was like, where's the gas station? And then I see a gas pump on the sidewalk, and I was like, I guess that's it. That's the gas station. It was something like straight out of a horror movie. I mean, I was like, this is the scariest thing ever. It was eerily quiet and completely deserted, not a soul around. And so I get out of my car and I'm like, oh fuck, this is for sure where I'm gonna die. Like, this is where it's gonna happen. And I'm filling up my car with gas, and I swear it was the slowest gas pump I've ever used in my life. Like, it was just like one, two, just going so slow, and I was panicking. I was vigilantly turning my head right and left, trying to be aware as I could of my surroundings, and I was so nervous that I didn't even let my tank fill up. Like, I got to 10 and I was like, that's good enough, I'm gonna go now. And I drive back to the 70. I have some gas, and I finally make it to Salina, which is the end of 106 miles. And I get to a proper gas station, and I fill up gas, and I drink some water, and I pee, and I'm like feeling really relieved. And at this point, I'm like 30 minutes away from my Airbnb, and I'm like, okay, it's working out. Everything's gonna work out. I start listening to some Michael Jackson. My heart rate is slowing down. Just everything's good. I get to my Airbnb. It's in Joseph. It's lovely, and I sleep really well. And I wake up the next morning and I continue my drive to Los Angeles, and it was painless, and it was actually quite enjoyable. Driving through the rest of Utah during the day is spectacular. Did I stop for gas every hour? Yes, I did. And my drive to LA taught me 3 really valuable lessons. 1, always read the exit signs no matter how long you are driving along the same highway. 2, never listen to a podcast about Charles Manson while driving through a deserted part of the country all on your own. And 3, I'm a lot stronger than I give myself credit for. I'm pretty fucking resilient. Thank you.